So, Lynette, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Lynette Zanesso of Bestial Mouths.
And where did you get the name from?
The name actually comes from a song, and it's part of a lyric from our very first band that I ever did called African Grays. And the line was Bestial Mouths singing to drag in the winter. And I just really liked it, so we carried it over for this one. A lot
Wow.
of my stuff, there's kind of things that kind of carry over because it's about a journey, a process.
I've noticed a lot of your music is very tribal, and a lot of the songs are very, I don't know, they remind me what I know of Native American Indian chants and kind of what they would be singing. Is that part of, is there
Well,
a
I'm
reason
very,
for that?
I really, my ancestry is I'm Puerto Rican, so we do have a lot of Taino Indian in us. And maybe that also comes from growing up with the type of music that my parents listened to, and that because we always had parties and musicians, and they'd be like doing percussion, and everyone's like playing it and stuff too. And I've just been really into always just like tribal or folk singers, just the way that they can express emotions through their voice and through the music, and the tribal element kind of like a chant that we all can like join and be part of, I
Yeah, I
guess.
love that part of it. That's something that adds to that whole um personality that you give to your music, and I think that really comes across so well. And I've always loved that kind of tribal music influence in music, so I think that really helps me like it, that's for sure. But and then you've got your absolutely unique vocals. There's
Yeah.
nothing quite like them, I don't think.
I don't really know. For me, I'm not like a classically trained singer or anything like that, and I didn't grow up really singing. For me, the voice was a way to use it as an instrument. And so I've always just tried to try different things with it, capture different sounds so that they represent words maybe, or just kind of use it as an interest, like I said, like an instrument. I don't know. But I, listen to like Lydia Lunch, obviously Susie Diamanda Gallus, people even like Katrina from Love Life, like things like that. I guess that kind of have that element too.
See, on some of your songs, I actually thought that the closest I've ever heard, not the same like vocals, but the same ideas, are Cocteau Twins, where she didn't always use words, it was sounds. And I thought that's something that you're doing, but in a very different like vocal range and style, but using sounds rather than words.
Yeah, I love Cocteau Twins, Dead Kid
Yeah.
Dance. Grew up listening to all of that too. So all of these things, I'm sure, have some influence that penetrates through me and comes out with things. I also like people to, and the element of the tribal aspect too, is to be able to connect in whatever way they want to connect.
Yeah.
Through all of our experiences in life and everything, everyone connects to something differently through their perspective. So I kind of like that too, with some people like, oh, she's saying this, or is it just, this sounds like a peacock,
Yeah, but that's good. That's good
Hopefully.
because that makes it different, doesn't it? It's not following a mold of everybody else. You're doing something very unique to you. It's like your videos. Your videos are very unique as well. They're all very obscure and different, but they do work really well with your music. It's brilliant. So who is the band?
At the moment, of course, me, I've been from the very beginning. Brant Showers of Damon and Solve is been in it for like the last, I don't know, like 6, 7 years, behind the scenes, doing a lot of the production stuff as well. And for the latest release, we worked with Reese Fulber of Frontline Assembly. He did a lot of the major production on everything, which was
Wow.
super cool. And then some of the other songs have an elements from our past drummer, Matthew Tucker, did some stuff on it as well. So, and then for live, I have different musicians that help me recreate it live.
Wow. But you're the brains behind it.
At the moment, yeah, I think so.
So do you
Sorry,
do you write everything, the music and everything? Is it all you?
well, I write all the lyrics. As for the music, I'm more of the kind of inspirational part of it, where we will all work together and kind of say like, this is the feeling I want for this song. This lyrics kind of mean this, and we throw things back and forth. And I'm like, I like this, and then they kind of run with it.
Wow. And I've noticed you've worked with so many great bands in the past and been on stage with so many great bands. And one that stood out the most for me was Psychic TV.
Oh, that was
Genesis.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that was quite an honor, and it's definitely a fun story because it was Jen's birthday the day that we played. So that was really cool. But then the best part, it was at the Echoplex, and the Echoplex in LA, in order to get to the green room, the back room, kind of have to go a long about way. It kind of takes a bit. And the easiest way is when you can jump over the stage and go there. So we're playing, and all of a sudden I look, and Jen is on the stage, and I'm like, oh my God, Jen hates us. Like, kind of pull the cords or something. I'm getting all nervous, and I realized Jen's just taking a little shortcut to the back green room. I'm like, yep, you can definitely do that. You have earned this.
and what year was that, roughly?
I would have to look it up again, but it is back when I lived in LA. So that is like 8, 9 years ago. And so this was one of the biggest shows for us that we had yet at the time. So definitely so nervous about it. And yeah. I was like, what do I say? What do I say? Hi.
I saw him about 30 years ago.
Wow.
Live, and that was at a Susie and the Banshees concert. And I know that's the incredible thing. And that was at the time she broke her leg, but the performance was still brilliant. And
imagine.
But he was the standout one at that time. I mean, it was in a marquee, and somebody came on stage, and we thought, who's that? No idea. And this person climbed up to the top of this marquee, no safety, no nothing, and started singing Psychic TV songs, came down, took the wig off and the mask off, and it was, there he was, and he just didn't care. He really didn't care.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And was Edley in the band when you were live with them? Drummer?
Honestly, I can't remember. I have the worst memory, and I really do. It's pretty bad. That's why everything's like, when I do stuff and people ask me details, I'm like, I don't know. It's all inside my head, and my body just comes out in some way, and I'll remember very strange things. Like, I can maybe forget a face and name, but I'll be like, oh, we talked about popcorn, so.
Yeah, because he was the drummer, I think, probably for about 10, 15 years. So probably yes, but just interviewed him twice, once by himself and once as the new band he's done, Scorpion T. Really good band as well. But yeah, but Psychic TV, what a band to be with. Brilliant. That must have been a great experience, that. Once in a lifetime, sadly, because he's gone.
Yeah.
Such a shame, because he was a great performer and big innovator, I think, with sound.
Oh, huge innovator. Definitely with sound, just influence, political, gender activism, like everything. Just
everything.
Great model. Yeah.
But still a fun person. He didn't lose, or he, she, whatever we want to call Genesis, but just a great person overall, whatever goes through people's.
I'm so nervous to meet Jen, and the first thing Jen does is walks in and is talking about the airlines and the flights and this and this and this, and super funny and super nice, and I'm like, okay, cool.
That's the trouble. When you meet people for that first time, you think, what are they going to be like? And I get that for every interview. I just think, what are they going to be like?
Yeah, you never really know, because for me, I always get that through music, it's very serious and kind of dark. People think I'm going to be kind of scary or like very like gruff or something, and they're like, "You're actually like really funny, and you talk about dogs and candy a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much." So a lot of times it happens that we were scared to like say something. My favorite story is one time years ago, we were booking something, and the person was asking, any other local bands, and we had mentioned this one at the time called Sleeping Desires. And the person wrote back and they're like, what they were like talking about stuff. We couldn't get what they meant. And they were talking about our accommodations, and they thought we called it as our sleeping desires. And we're like, no, I don't talk like that. No, that's actually just a band.
So whereabouts are you in America?
At the moment, I'm in Sacramento, California.
Ah, okay. Nice place.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I love California. I'm from the East Coast originally. I pretty much grew up in Florida and Orlando, but I've kind of lived everywhere: New York, Portland, Berlin, Los Angeles, Atlanta. So I've been everywhere, even Texas.
Wow. You've moved around a lot.
Yeah, I have.
Wow. And you started in 2009.
That sounds about right. Yes.
Quite a good run for a band. Did you think you'd last this long?
Honestly, when it started, the project was started originally with my husband at the time, and we just wanted to have an outlet to create art, to express ourselves, and we were trying to create something that no one else really does, that comes to us and not be influenced so much by and worried about all this. So we didn't really have any expectations. We just wanted to play shows, meet people, meet artists. So when we got to LA, and this is where it started, we were quite surprised because like Deus picked us up right away. So like, oh my God, we have a release, and so we started getting some traction. And then we're like, oh, maybe we can do a little more with this. This is cool. But for me, I've tried or I've thought about different elements, or maybe, because it's hard. It's hard to keep it going. Hard on the soul, hard on the money, everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is just every time I try something else, this is just what I need and what I do.
That's it. I mean, it's hard financially nowadays, isn't it? Because there's no real money in it. It's almost, you have to do it for the love of it. Otherwise, you'd just go mad.
Yeah, I love to perform. So for me, it's the element of performing, and I love to tour because I love performing and going out there, and performing for me is very cathartic. And I think that's my favorite element of it. But yeah, so luckily, most of the time, just to break even, you don't really streaming, all that kind of stuff it's really hard.
Yeah, because streaming doesn't pay, does it?
No.
It's absolutely awful. I mean, it gets your music out there, yes, but for paying, no. The only people who get rich on that are the people who run the systems.
Yep,
exactly. I mean, I actually discovered you on TikTok. That's where I heard you, and I'm glad I did, because it was a new thing that I discovered, and I thought, wow, instantly. I think it was about the first 3 seconds. I thought, whoa, this is good.
Cool.
And that's when I contacted you straight away, because I thought, I'd love to talk to this band. They're just fantastic. And yeah, it was a real ear opener, I would say, because it was so different to what I'd heard before from other bands. There's a lot of great bands out there, but there's very few that really stand out. And
thank you.
You do.
Thank you. Yeah, socials is another aspect that is really great. I love that through, the internet, we're able to connect with so many people, but it's also very hard as well. it's always changing, having the time to come up with something that takes away from creating something else. So that's also a hard one that plays too in doing music and art. And also, yeah, same thing, algorithms of certain things, it picks it up. So that's a thing too. You're like, oh, this is what's popular, or everyone's following this,
Yeah.
so it picks it up, it doesn't pick it up for something else. So
exactly, it's just sometimes it's hit and miss. It really is. Your new album, how do you say that? Is it ROTT or ROTT?
It's actually both. So the idea is ROTT stands for Road of 1,000 Tears in My Skin. So that's the final track of the album. So we just call it ROTT. So it's kind of a play on that.
It's a very good album, and I've written down a couple of tracks here that stood out the most for me. Mind Tears, track 4.
Oh, yes.
That was the one that really stood out as Indian kind of chanting, and I love that. I love that Native American Indian style. I've always loved the idea of them that meet such a proud race. I know there was different tribes, but all in all, just such a proud people. And I've always thought that was brilliant. And then to hear it in a song, and I just thought, wow. And this really stands out. Absolutely brilliant track. And
well, also,
the other, God, sorry.
I was going to say, also, this album does have an influence of the Rhoda Trail of Tears, the trail that the Native Americans took. Were having to like leave and forced out. When I was a child, I think I was like 8 or something like that, and I had dyslexia and speech impediment, so I had to go through extra tutoring to get rid of it and to learn to read. And at the place, they had this map that they had painted on the huge like grounds, and I was like looking at it, and there was this trail. It's a Trail of Tears, and I was like, what is that? And when I found out what it was, it forever stuck with me, as it just taught me so much about humanity. And it just forever has stuck with me. So it's kind of influenced by that. And Mind Tears was supposed to be just kind of like our Mind Tears was supposed to be just like this atmospheric song. But it's turned out that a lot of people really like it as one of their favorite tracks.
Yeah, it really is a great track. And then obviously Road of 1,000 Tears, slow paced. And all I could say to that was I described it as, it seems such a sad song. It really is a sad song.
That song is kind of what I consider my ballad. Reese calls it the Lynch song because it kind of has a David Lynch feel to it. But it's kind of a very sad, but also beautiful, but has a slight element of hope into it. Like it's kind of anthic because it's just a story of my life. And for me, it's a really personal song because I sang in both Spanish and English. So it's the first time I've done that. So it's about telling my journey and just being honest about everything, like, and accepting that everyone has their own path, and this has been my journey and my path. And
it's an incredibly beautiful song. It really is. I mean, it's still you, but it's just very different to your other because of the pace. And it's just absolutely really lovely song. Pardon?
Yeah. I said it's not as aggressive, probably, as a lot of.
Yeah. Yes. It's just it was a shock to hear it and think, wow, I love this song. And I love loud, aggressive music. I really do. But that came as a really pleasant surprise because it just showed the versatility of what you can do. And that is really a lovely, lovely song. I mean, you've had some fantastic songs anyway. I put down Industrial Waste. I love that.
Yeah.
You have so many great songs.
Thanks.
You really do.
a play on what we've done to this world, obviously, the damage that we so that's so I felt like that harsh.
All your songs have got a story behind them, something relatable.
Most of them, pretty much everything. Sometimes it can come as like I do a lot of cut up. I also just sketch constantly in my phone, like ideas all the time, and like lyric statements, and then sometimes I'll put them together and be like, oh my god, I've been channeling this feeling to it. And sometimes it can start with like a phrase of a thought, and then it's kind of structured around that. But they all have a lot. They're all really personal. They have political statements in them, all that kind of stuff.
But it's not kind of in your face, is it?
No, I don't. Personally, for me, I guess lyrics are kind of poetry in a way. So I also don't want to tell people like, this is what you do, this is what you have to believe, or anything like that. I like that people to connect to it, to take their meaning from it. So that's what's really great. And also the visuals sometimes, and also the videos sometimes that happens, because some of them I have a strict visual for, when I'm writing it, I'm like, I want it to kind of be like this. Some of them I don't as much. And so I've had I've been really fortunate to work with so many amazing directors, photographers, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's like I'll have them hear it and they kind of tell me what came into them visually, and I'm like, that's really cool, and we'll collab together on it.
So do you give them the idea for the videos as well?
It depends. It can be either or both. Sometimes I'm like, oh, here's I'll keep inspirational stuff, whether it's photography. A lot of times it's photography, other videos, things like that. Or sometimes I'll just describe to them what, like even in terms of color, how the video makes me feel, or the thought of it. And some of them, we've done ourselves, like Road Over 1,000 Tears. That was actually done between me and my tour manager. She works with me quite a bit. And I had this idea that I wanted it to be kind of very surrealist, kind of have the idea of like maybe a silent movie, like this is a journey and a trail. So a lot of it's a play on, you don't know if this is modern times, if it's older times, like why is she holding a chicken suddenly? Like where is she? I'm in the woods with like, there's things that aren't connected to anything. There's a ladder against a tree that goes up to nowhere. So, and then like, that's
so it lets the mind wander then. Yeah. Wow, you must have a hectic mind, coming up with all the ideas all at once.
My brain is always, I think, whether I want it to or not, just kind of thinking and going off and stuff like that. Like my partner always makes fun of, because we'll slightly mention something and then I'll just start laughing, and he's like, what are you laughing? I'm like, and it'll be like a dog or something, and I've completely envisioned its whole life and its whole story, and I start talking about it and I'm like, isn't it hilarious? And then he's like, okay. But no, it's running all the time. Even just yesterday I'm at the grocery store, and I don't know, I must have just gone into another thing, and then all of a sudden I look and this guy's like kind of chasing me in the grocery store. I'm like, oh, weird. And then he's like, I think you have my cart. I'm like, I was like, sorry. So I do stuff like that all the time because it's always running.
So your brain's always on overdrive.
Yeah.
So what about touring? Have you been outside of America?
Yes, actually. Like I said, I lived in Berlin for a long time. So we've toured over in Europe quite a bit. We're actually going to be going back. We're doing Grazone in the Netherlands, in The Hague, in February, which Grazone Festival I'm really excited about. Amazing lineup. And then we're also coming back in May, and we'll be doing some more. We'll be doing like a full European one.
Wow.
Still haven't been to like Australia yet, which I still really want to. Hopefully maybe one day Japan. I don't know.
You don't fancy Malta at any point?
Where?
Malta, where I am.
Oh, Malta?
Yeah.
I would love to. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing.
I
My
know it's
mom had good
got,
friends that were from there as a kid, and I remember she would tell me about it, and I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. Oh yeah, that would be incredible.
and what's next for you guys?
The next coming up thing is we have a US tour in October and November. We'll start in Sacramento, and then we've got a couple good festivals we're hitting up. We're doing Substance in LA, which is a great one, Sanctum, Dracula's Ball. We're actually going to be heading more into Canada. We've played Vancouver before, but we're doing Montreal and Toronto this time, which will be amazing. So that's the closest thing right now happening.
Wow, that's good though. I mean, you obviously love being live then.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can tell that by the amount of excitement you get in your voice
Yeah.
when you're talking about being live. So that's brilliant to know. I love bands that like being live.
Work on the live performance. So I know I've had before too that some people are like, wow, live it translates even more, which means a lot to me because we put a lot into it. And I really try to bring everybody in to have a full experience of it. So, I mean, touring's also very hard as a singer. You have to be, I'm very dedicated and very focused also. So a lot of times the social aspect can be kind of hard because I can't talk much, obviously can't drink too much. Can't partake in eating all the local foods in case I get a stomach ache. I have allergies, have to sleep.
Yeah,
But I still enjoy it. I think it's great.
that's the main thing. As long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters, isn't it, in the end? But I
Yep.
can imagine it's quite lively, isn't it? Your performance on
Oh,
stage.
yeah.
Yeah, I can just imagine it somehow. Yeah, I'd love to see that at some point. Got to get to see you somehow. And hopefully here,
Yeah.
that would be brilliant. What else would you, what about any new releases coming up, like singles or anything?
We actually, I just got it back. We have a new video from the song The Knife on the album. That'll be coming out soon. Plus a remix of it by Curses. Plus then we will have a full remix LP as well soon.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, soon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
like 2 months. We just
Wow.
got them all back, so we got to master them, get that out too. So like in the next month will probably be the video with the single for The Knife and then the other remixes.
Wow. Brilliant. That's good
Yeah.
news. More music to listen to.
Yeah, and I have a few collaborations I've done, which I do quite often and do give vocals and lyrics too. That will be kind of coming throughout the year as well. A few more I'm working on. We have some
Wow.
remix doing for people as well.
You do keep busy.
Yeah.
How do you find time for anything else?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling a lot lately because we got 2 puppies over here. Got my doggies. I
Lovely
do
and
a little,
quiet, aren't they?
huh?
They're so quiet and just
Oh yeah.
chilled.
Yeah, Jessica, say hi. This is our rescue pit bull Rottweiler. Millie! Come on, Millie. Come here. Come on. Come on.
Wow.
And this, Millie, come on.
Did you say a pit bull Rottweiler?
Yeah, she's a pit rot mix. Jessica, say hi.
Wow. But she
She's
seems so calm.
Oh, she's the best. My partner rescued her because she was being abused. He rescued her from someone's yard. She was bones, no fur. They obviously have been beating her and stuff. So it's been training to get her because she used to be so shy. But she's the gentlest, sweetest thing. And then we have this other little one, this Miss Millie, who is a Chihuahua runt.
She's so tiny compared to the other one.
Oh, she's so tiny. And they're best buddies. Yes. But yeah, they're luckily both really chill, sweet. They're about 8 or 9 now, anyways.
But you'd think,
yeah,
that cross, the Rottweiler cross with a pit bull, you'd think that'd be like a angry dog, but
oh no, Rottweilers are the sweetest and the smartest. And
I love Rottweilers.
Wow. So she actually is very smart, very gentle, very loving and kind. Yeah. You're a little guard dog too. Yeah. But yeah, the only thing with her is because she was abused, she's scared of other dogs.
Oh,
So she prefers to be around cats and smaller dogs and stuff like that. And we have been attacked a few times, unfortunately, where other dogs have gotten off leash and stuff. So she's got a little PTSD with that, don't you? Okay, yes, thank you.
really? That you've been what by other dogs?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Other dogs see her and they just want to attack. I don't know if it's maybe because she, it's animal psychology emanates being more insecure that they automatically get on, or something like, I don't know. So a couple times, like, yeah, one dog even, we used to live on this like campground. One dog ate through his leash really fast, like before the even owner knew, jumped on top of us, went flying, almost went like rolled off a cliff. It was just like, oh my God. But everybody's
Wow.
okay. Yeah. So I do
Maybe it's
that.
dogs do sense fear, don't they? So if she's, is it a he or she?
It's a she, Jessica. Yeah.
If she's putting across a bit of fear, they feed off that, don't they? That's their chance
Yeah.
to basically bully it.
Yeah. And that's
So,
also the thing, introduce her to bigger dogs. She is definitely the submissive, but because she's scared, she'll want to do like, be aggressive or whatever and do the lip. I also worked at a doggy daycare training school for a while. So, and done a lot of research on animal psychology because animals are like my reason for being. I love going in nature, watching. Over here we're at, there's deers that come. We've
wow,
gotten now, the other day
brilliant.
I went out with kittens and butterflies and but I was like, we got to get these kittens fixed. So, but I did. But yeah, so that's that too.
Hectic life.
Honestly, kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah, but happy.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness. It's what we live for, isn't it? Trying to be happy.
Yeah, it's a full-time thing, and that's kind of also what my music talks about too. It's a release of things like that, and just also even Road of Tears, one of the lines is in vida verde, which is like life in green, which just means envy and jealousy, and how you see these other people, like especially with music, I want to get there, I want to get there, I want to get to this level, and you feel like you're never getting there, you're never getting anywhere, you passed over. So it's also been a journey with just accepting who I am, what I have, and how fortunate I am with, because I know I'm very lucky in lots of ways, looking at it in that way and just trying to remember each day the happiness. Like I say sometimes to my bandmates and stuff, like, all right, let's do this. Let's have a good time. Like, let's focus on where we're at now. Not that we have to do all this, do all that, the bad stuff. Like, let's stop right now and just enjoy this.
It's a good way of thinking.
On good days, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you seem to be a very happy person. That's good. Is there anything else you'd like to mention, Lynette?
um, I don't know, except that we're actually working on a new candle for Bestial Mouths as part of our merch, which I'm really excited
Oh
about.
wow.
Yeah, I'm collaborating with a friend of mine from Los Angeles. She has an amazing line of candles and crystals and everything properly sourced. So we're working on a new scent. So I'm burning one of it as a tester to see.
I did notice the candle.
Yeah, I'm burning it as you got to do a few tests to figure it out,
Yeah.
so we get the scent exactly like we want it.
That's really good though. That's something unusual for the band as well.
Yeah, we've done incense before, which was really kind of fun. So I do like to incorporate different things. Lately on tour, I also make jewelry. So we've been selling that, and pieces I make are all made from recycled stuff. Things I find, broken pieces, discarded pieces, crystals. So the newer stuff I'll have are actually pieces that we found like on last tour, everyone's always looking on the ground or we find something. So pretty soon I'm going to start going ahead and putting up the stuff I make and start selling it online as well, because I have a fashion design degree as well. So I worked as a fashion designer for years. So I'm going to be doing, it'll be a mix of like even some home good stuff, because my partner now has taught me to weld and he's an electrician, so we can do things like that. But the idea is that everything is kind of recycled, you know,
Yeah.
upside, we try to say. So it's going to be rune and rune. That's what will be called.
That's brilliant. You'll have to let me know when you've got that up and running, and I'll try and help you along.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have in the other room is piles and piles of cool stuff to do, and like, oh, I just need the time.
That's it, isn't it? Time is something we don't always have a lot of. It's just, and it goes that quick nowadays. You know, the more you try and do, the quicker the time goes, and it's like, whoa, where did that time go?
And I like to sleep, so I'm also like, I need my rest. So I don't want, I mean, I can do it, but I also feel like when I'm not on tour, I really try to make sure I'm well rested so that it's, you know, because on tour, then it's like 4 or 5 hours a night, you know, and I can keep going on that, but for a while you need to make sure some rest is in there for your health.
Yeah, otherwise you just get drained, don't you?
Drained, and you'll get sick, your immune system will go down, and, you know, yeah, your mood, everything, you know.
That's it. I've got all your links, I believe, as well. So I've got them from one of your emails. Is there anything else, Lynette?
I think that's it. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
More than welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, it's like meeting the brains behind the band, and it's just brilliant. You know, it's just, I've loved your music since I first heard it. And I know it hasn't been long since I heard it, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. And if posting this interview helps you get some more people into the band, that's a great thing. That's the plan.
And hopefully then also for others that may have been following whatever, they can just learn a little bit more about me, because I know some people are like, oh, you just like to be totally mysterious. I'm like, no, not really. Like, I just don't know what people want to know. So I'm like, ask me, and then here you go. So this can be a good way too.
Yeah, and I've noticed as well, there's a lot of bands that don't seem to be given interviews. Not that they don't want to give interviews, they don't get asked to do interviews. That always throws me, that.
Yeah.
I've had a couple lately that have said, oh, thank you so much for an interview. You know, we didn't think we'd get them. And it's like, but you're so-and-so band. How have you not had interviews?
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just so pleased that they've had an interview. And that always gets me, that it's just people don't like giving. I think they go for the big names, and the smaller bands are just swept to the side and they're not bothered, and that bugs me.
It's kind of catch-22, talking even about like in terms of being booked and promoters and social media interviews, because like we said, anything dealing with arts or music is hard. It's hard to be a promoter or booker. Your main thing a lot of times becomes trying to stay alive, trying to stay in the business. So one band's getting booked for everything. It's got this hype. Then, oh, the other booker, other promoter grabs it, the other interview, the other this. So then it becomes very like only one gets the attention. And you can see why, because it helps them that, oh, you got this, whatever, as in the booker. But then, unfortunately, you don't find about everything. The other bands don't get as much of a chance. So anytime someone wants to do an interview or anything like that, I really welcome it.
Well, Lynette, anytime you want an interview, even if it's before your next release or anything like that, just send me a message. You've got my email. Just send me a message and I will make sure I sort that out with you. That's never a problem. I promise you that.
Okay.
She's lovely, isn't she?
She's my girl. Yeah, so we weren't going to, but I fell in love with her because the first time I met her, I was like, okay. Second time I looked in her eyes and I was like, I love you. I can't be without you. It's funny because when it's like she's kind of my emotional therapy dog, and I think I'm kind of hers too. We have the same personality, so.
But you can see by the ears, she's definitely listening to everything, isn't she?
Oh, she listens and she learns. She's really smart. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And we had feral kittens that we had found. They were like 2 months old, and now we've got them adopted and stuff. But she took on mothering them, and it was unbelievable to see. We were like, oh my God, like even one of them was crawling up my leg, and I was trying to teach it not to do that. She looked at him, obviously said whatever in dog language, came over and sat down, and the cat's like, didn't do it. And she looked at me like, yes. And I'm like, yes. So yeah.
And I think she knows you're talking about her as well, doesn't she?
Oh, we talking about you, Jessica? Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're proud of you. I know. Stinky breath. I just brushed your teeth.
She's probably saying, no, tell people that on camera.
I know, they can't tell.
Well, Lynette, honestly, thank you so much for this. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the music as well.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Support means so much, you know. Some days you're just like, why do I do this? Every other day you're ready to give up and quit, and then you get a message from somebody, and that just really keeps us going. So I always tell people, wow, thank you for reaching out. You know, that means quite a bit. Even just messages on socials or whatever, it really does.
It does. Yeah, I get the same. That's the same feeling I get when people message me and say thank you. I recently, you probably know the band Ex Voto.
Not personally, but I know of the music.
You know
yes.
of them. And
yeah.
I've always been a fan of them for a long, long time. And I messaged them and said, are you willing to do an interview? Yep, tell me when.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I didn't expect to get you as an interview, but never mind.
Yeah.
I tried. And after the interview, he just messaged me back and said, thank you so much for the interview. I loved it. Thank you. And I just thought, wow, that just, it really hits you, doesn't it? When someone appreciates what you've done, that really does get to you. And it's a nice feeling. So hopefully I've helped you, Lynette. And but thank you. Like I said, thank you for the music. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
So
Thanks a lot.
But anytime you want to speak, just send me a message, please. All right. And I'll let you know when this is ready.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. So like I said, I'm off for a week next Saturday.
Nice.
I think I told you about going there, didn't I? Going to London.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah.
Very nice.
UK subs, see Andy Sex Gang again. Yeah. I think you said you were a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a lovely guy. He really is. He's not that kind of angry looking guy that you see on stage. He's really down to earth and really such a nice guy and so interesting. Yeah, and he loves animals. He loves animals.
Most artists usually do, because we know that they've got the soul.
Yeah, he loves foxes. If that's anything. Yeah. They are. They are the most beautiful little animal, aren't they? I can never understand why people can hurt them. I really can't.
I don't know if people can hurt any animal, though.
Well, no, that's true. But then they've just got such a soft face. Right, Lynette, I'll let you go because I know you've probably got so much to do. Yeah. But thank you so much and take good care, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. You too. Bye.
Thank you, Lynette. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.